Good morning, small players. Happy Friday. Here we are, the end of yet another week in the market. And we have a pretty quiet scanner this morning. So I have an extended version of the scanner where I scan for a little cheaper and a little more expensive stocks. So I go a little below my 80 cent threshold as the lowest price and then a little above my $40 threshold as the highest price just to try and chart a few more things. But anyhow, the first one is NUZE. NUZ has been showing up on our scanner in the past couple of weeks. It has a nice range this morning. It's following a support of $5. And the high of day from yesterday is 7.6. So that's quite a big range for trading, where we can trade, take level to level trades. And the support and resistance lines we draw are very important because you don't need a stock to go up to the moon to make money. All you needed to do is to constantly bounce between these levels. It gives you trades, right? You take, uh, buy support, sell resistance, buy support, sell resistance. If you know how to trade both sides of the market, short, sell resistance, cover and support, buy support, sell resistance, short, sell and resistance. So there's a lot of opportunities. So a stock can have a 5% range that's constantly bouncing back and front from, and you can end up making 30% on that stock for the day because you constantly just trade all those moves. So the levels are very important. So anyway, this one just recently had another bounce on 5, is rejecting VWAP. VWAP at this point is descending. So we have descending support. So every time it touches 5, there's less profit opportunity because VWAP keeps coming lower and lower. But anyway, we would trade definitely bounce on 5 because it's such a strong support. I would take that. And once again, just to talk about how we trade bounces, you don't. So for example, this is a good example, right? Let's say you would say, oh, you want to get a bounce on 5. It doesn't bounce, right? It went below, and then 5 served as resistance. Resistance turned support, then came above it, and then tested it and dove down. So when it doesn't, a bounce is this. Consolidation, tries to dip below, rejects it sharply, and goes up. So you don't end up buying at 5. You might end up buying at 5. I guess the high of the scan was 508. So you can buy at 509. That's a bounce off a 5 trade. It's fine. The goal is not to buy as low as possible. This is not long-term investing. The goal is to buy as safely as possible. You want to wait for that confirmation. You want to see the extra volume coming in. You want to follow other big buyers. You want to see the tape flash green. You don't want to be the first one to buy. You want to just follow a move that's already happening from other buyers. That's all you're doing. Very important. So what we're looking to see here is exactly a candle like this. The stock coming down to this level, consolidating, trying to dip below it, sharp projection of lower prices, increase in volume, tape flashing green with large orders, and then we follow them. So we can get a fill at 505, 510, doesn't matter. We pay for confirmation, okay? Very important. We don't just keep an order on 5 and let it fill us. So that's how we trade bounces. So that would be one. I'm going to set an alert at or below 5. And then we can also set an alert for a break above VWAP, which has squeeze potential. And this level here is very key, 625. Why? Because there was a lot of consolidation there. Once it went above it and tested it, it served as support, which was great. Then when it came down to test it again, second test of support, there weren't enough buyers. Once it went below it, short sellers destroyed it. So we know where short sellers open their positions, right? Break below 625. So we know that the squeeze level is break above 625, right? And then we see here, first it rejected it sharply. When it finally was able to go through it, a move to 7 before short sellers started coming in again. And then we try to test it again. They defended it. So they showed us on multiple occasions where they are. So we know where to squeeze them out. So that's what we're waiting for. We're waiting for a trigger. We're waiting for a break above this level or a bounce on this level. We can trade break above VWAP because there's a lot of room there from there to 625. That's also a squeeze potential, probably a lower, not as aggressive of a squeeze, but we can, take profit on 6 and say below 625 on that one. Okay, so a lot of opportunities there. I will put it on the watch list. This one I think just popped up on scanner because of this volume. Oh, see, it didn't even, I thought it just dropped news, but no, it just squeezed. And probably this break above 325 squeezed it. Which is fine. That's important for us to know. So if it ever comes down to test it, that would be resistance, turn support, bounce setup. In the meantime, rejection here, that's a key level. This is a key level because there's a lot of consolidation there, all these candles rejecting. Okay. So here now we can trade a bounce on VWAP. See, there's a lot of consolidation there in that area here, and then VWAP's there. So we can trade a bounce on VWAP. We can trade a 5-minute flag break. Bounce on this level if it pulls back there. Let's look at the 1-minute chart. Yeah, the EMA 20 bounce is also right next to VWAP. So those would be the trades. Break above this level could cause somewhat of a squeeze. The short sellers did get very squeezed on break above 325. So ideally, we'd like some pullback, hopefully to this level, so we can get more buyers to help us break the next level. If short sellers get squeezed way too quickly, from one level then another level, then here around 4, they can very sharply reject it, and you can get stuck in a bad move. So it's good to have a dance where we make money, they make money. We make money, they make money. Very explosive moves up end up making very explosive moves down. This is a very interesting stock for me today. I really like the chart. I really like how much room there is to high of day, and I do also remember it from some point in the past. So I know it's capable of large moves. The one thing that I don't, okay, they just reported earnings. I was like, what is the news? But they just had earnings. So that's fine. So there is a catalyst for the move. We always want to make sure that there's a valid catalyst for a move. Otherwise, on Bell, the stock can get halted, request for more information, because the exchange will ask them to explain whether the stock is trading on some rumor. Okay, we like that one a lot. Okay. Scanner showing up for us this morning. The mark. Don't trust the mark. Antonio always says that. He and I, before we even became business partners, we met in another chat room where we were trading together, and we became very good friends, and then ended up, becoming business partners. So I even forget what happened. I don't know if he got burned at Mark at some point, but I said in the chat room that I was going to trade Mark, and he's like, don't trust the Mark. And actually, I took a very big loss on Mark then. So he was right, but it wasn't Mark's fault. It wasn't even my fault. It was really it's an annoying Thinkorswim glitch. If you guys use Thinkorswim, just something to keep in mind when a stock does. So let's say this was regular market hours. It wasn't pre-market session, and you have a stop loss here and break below this level, and the stock dives down like this. A lot of times, Thinkorswim will just cancel your stop loss because the move is too aggressive, and at the time it thinks that your stop loss is higher than the current market price. I don't know why it does that. So it's one thing if you're moving the stop loss and then it dives down in the meantime, that's fine, that's your fault. But if your stop loss is in place and it does such a sharp move, that's why you have stop losses. That's what it's supposed to protect you from. Sometimes it will just cancel your stop loss. The other problem I have is that it doesn't, canceling your stop loss is a pretty serious thing. So I would love for them to give me an alert that's going to take over my whole screen and say, your stop loss was canceled. You need to get out of this position a different way. All they do is they give you a little bot up here saying stop loss cancel. But does the same bot that you get when your stop loss gets filled, when your buys get filled, when your sells get filled. It's just a little bot here. So if you're trading all day long in multiple trades, you don't pay attention to that bot because you think to yourself, okay, like I just got stopped out. The bot just told me I got stopped out. Okay, whatever. Well, the bot didn't tell me I got stopped out. The bot told me that my stop loss was canceled. So I didn't know. So I went about my day. I was trading. And that's the other thing. When you're trading constantly, your P&L is moving. You don't think about it because you're in other trades. And then towards the end of the day, I had closed out all my trades. And I keep seeing my P&L moving. And I'm like, why is my P&L moving as if I were in a trade? I'm in no trades. And it's also like sometimes hard on the desktop application because it's very advanced, and it's good that it's advanced because it has a lot of features, but it's sometimes hard to figure out even what positions you're in. So I opened my phone app and I realized I'm still in mark and I'm bleeding because at that point, like I want to say maybe I traded at $3. At that point, it was already at 1. These stocks are very volatile. That's where you have to have a stop loss. So it was a disaster. It was a disaster. I called them. There's nothing they could do because they said, well, we told you it was canceled. Yeah, but you guys should have, like, you should change the notification. You should make it more aggressive. Anyway, so ever since then, what I do is after I think I'm stepped out of a position, I use the flatten button. The flatten button gets you out of any positions you're in. So if I have a very aggressive drop, I want to make sure I'm stopped out. I want to make sure I'm out. I'll use the flatten position. And I've told everyone in the chat room too, so our students know because yeah, just one of those things where technology can really mess you up. So anyway, now that we got through that lesson, this level of 1.7 seems to be very key, but then it broke above it a few times, and then it rejected again at 171. The chart's a little choppy. There's a lot of walls. So I'm not that excited to trade it, but we could trade a VWAP break here or break above this level. It just has a lot of walls pretty much on every cent, so it's a harder trade. This one I don't like at this specific moment because it's below all indicators, but I like it because it has a lot of room to high up day. So if it breaks above VWAP, I will definitely trade it because then I have a lot of room to all the other levels. So create alert at or above. Interested in that for sure. This one, the volume's low, so yeah, I think the volume's low on all the other ones. Okay. Let's see this one. So we traded this one yesterday. I don't know if I'm interested. Maybe I'll do a little dead cat bounce. We'll see if it picks up volume. This one I'm going to leave on the scanner because it picked up. Yesterday it was quiet in the pre-market session, so it wasn't on the scanner. And then after bell, it got picked up and had a great day. So I'm going to leave it on here. Root I can remove. Okay, so that's it for this morning's scan results, you guys. As always, these streams are meant for people that know how to trade and are trying to find the stocks that other traders will be looking at for the day. We use our scanner to find those. So pretty much anyone that trades small caps uses a similar scanner. So these are going to be the stocks that are on every small cap day trader's radar. So the scanner helps us narrow down the list of stocks we look at. Otherwise, there's 7,000 stocks out there. It's hard for us to, you can't physically go through every single one and try and find the setup. So all the scanner does is it narrows down your list. That's all. You still have to analyze the chart. You still have to find correct entries and exits, and you still have to trade it correctly. It's not like you can buy every stock on the scanner and hope it works out. Oh, I think that's just popped up on the scanner. I'm gonna add that on the watch list. The volume's low, but that stock is good. It's a big mover. Also, EGC actually had a big day yesterday, so I'm gonna add it. Just note when it's a second day mover, they're harder trades because short sellers are more aggressive. It's easier for them to borrow shares. And then also what ends up happening is a lot of the stocks that we trade here have active registrations or secondary offerings. And after a big move the first day, the second day they could drop an offering. So after 10:30, the trades become a little riskier. So what was I talking about? Oh yeah. So the scanner just helps you narrow down the stocks you look at, but you still have to analyze them. You still have to find entries, and you still have to trade them correctly. And if you're watching this, and if you're not a trader, this stream is probably not going to do much for you unless you're in the early stages of learning where you're trying to learn how to chart support and resistance. So this could help you practice charting support and resistance. You can go on your chart and draw the levels and compare your levels to mine. But that's really it. If you're someone that this stream is meant for students that have been trading with us for years, right? So if you're someone that doesn't have that skill level, it doesn't gonna do much for you. But we do have a course that's meant for beginners where we start from the absolute basics and we work your way up to this. You can get it in the bio. We actually have a 30% discount now through Thanksgiving, so you can take advantage of that. And then if you are someone that's trading but would like to trade with us every day because you want to be in a community, you want to get trade ideas, you want to talk to other traders, you need help figuring out your entries and exits and becoming consistently profitable, we also have a chat room. If you go to smallplayers.com/programs, you will find the links for the courses and the chat room. So that's it, you guys. Have a wonderful weekend. Happy trading today before that, and I will see you next week.